creepy, and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Here's a conjuring mirror.
Oh.
It's not the same mirror, of course. That was in the movie.
But it's
the same kind of situation where a conjuring mirror is used for what? A conjuring mirror is used to do what? To conjure. To conjure evil. Or the thing is, some people try to conjure good spirits with it. In other words, we got that mirror from a guy in New Jersey who hung it on a wall.
Oh.
He blacked out the room with blackout curtains, so there's no light coming in. So you couldn't see your face. Then he would take the mirror like that. Then he would put a chair here. And then he would put a small table with like a red bulb behind it. Like a bulb like that, maybe even less than that red bulb here. So you could just about see the mirror. And then he would sit there and try to conjure his relatives. He would sit here and say, "Ma," or "Grandma, I want to see you. Can't you come to me? Can't you come to me, Graham? I want to see you. Please come." And for 2 weeks he did that. For like 2-3 hours a day. The guy's nuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened for like 2 weeks. But after that, like on the second or third week, he started to see these monstrosity figures come, these faces, like almost like a kaleidoscope of faces appearing on the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, on the mirror, and scared the hell out of him. So it scared him so bad that he had to get mental health treatment, because he was so traumatized by what he did. See, now if you do that long enough, something's going to come. Like if you say, "I want to see a ghost," odds are you're not going to see a ghost. But if you say that 1,000,000 times, you say it every day, a couple hundred times in a dark room, "I want to see a ghost. I wish a ghost would appear," something's going to happen, because you're conjuring. You're conjuring spirits when you do that.
Fun fact, this is Tony Spera, husband of Judy Warren, daughter of the Warrens.
If you push me away, I promise you, you won't find me where you left me. My heart's big, but not big enough to keep people who only love me when it's convenient. I'm not a second option. I'm not someone you come back to when it's safe.
Straight up.
If you walk away, stay gone. Don't return. Because while you're out there confused, I'm out here healing. I used to wait. I used to hope. But now I match effort. I protect my peace. And I don't chase anyone who treats me like I'm replaceable. So if you push me away, don't be surprised when you come back and find a version of me healed. A version of me that doesn't need you anymore. Eventually, you learn losing people isn't a loss. It's freedom. I don't hate you. I'm just done fighting for a spot with someone who never fought.
Yes, sir. It's very painful when you love someone and they treat you, as their second option.
So has anyone watched that video I just saw on TikTok? It's out of Compton, California. Now this lady, she had a Ring doorbell camera on, right? And I watched the video 5 or 6 times. Took me a minute to realize what I was seeing, but if you look on the bottom right-hand corner of that video, I see a UFO creature. Something that came out of a UFO. Walk right on down the damn street. If you see the head, thing looks like E.T. or something along those lines. Now, I've seen a lot of videos that you can kind of rule out as being a hoax, but from what I'm seeing with this one, it's starting to look like the real deal. Now, if you get a chance, go under Compton, California Alien, or Compton, California Alien on Ring doorbell, and check this sucker out, because it looks like they're here, and maybe they're here to stay. Who really knows? But check it out, Compton, California Ring doorbell Alien. Pretty cool.
Straight out of Compton.
They would breed our women and force them to have C-sections without fucking anesthesia. And the breeding farms, y'all, they didn't go away after slavery was abolished. It still happened. If you look into the father of gynecology, that man literally said black people don't experience pain. Therefore, he would not give the women any anesthesia to give birth, even when it came down to having a fucking C-section, bro. And as somebody who had a C-section and almost died, this shit just brought me to tears. Women were forced to be sleeping with over 100 men in one day.
Oh my goodness.
100 men. And if they weren't to get pregnant, they would get beat. They would get literally limbs removed. They would be tortured. And this happened to men too. Breeding farms, you guys. Breeding farms. When I say The Handmaid's Tale, it started with us. This book, Black AF History, this is the stuff they don't teach you in schools. This is the stuff they don't tell you about in schools, because this is America unwhitewashed. One black slave was forced to breed over 200 children. One white slave owner had over 600 children by slaves. 600.
200s.
And once they would have the baby, they were forced to go back in the field. And either the baby would be given away, taken away. And that's how the whole adoption process started. The adoption process has been shady since the beginning, because a lot of times it started with taking away slave babies that were the offspring of the master and the slave, because he didn't want his wife to find out that he was sleeping with the slaves. It's a lot of dark shit that went on in the fucking history of this country, and more people need to fucking know about it. When I tell y'all, everybody needs to get this book. Everybody needs to get this book. Read it. I don't care if you get it from the library. I don't care where you get it from. You need to read it and understand that this is the history of America, and it literally has nothing much has changed.
No amount of apologies will ever be enough.
What is that? It's being called the clearest UFO footage ever, and online AI detectors are confirming it's not AI generated with over 99% accuracy. A triangular-shaped craft with no visible propulsion system, flashing strange sparks of blue light in the sky. Some are calling it extraterrestrial technology, but others believe this is what is known as a TR-3B, or Black Manta, a rumored anti-gravity aircraft made under top-secret government black budget programs. Technology beyond our imagination they'll never admit exists, using reverse-engineered crashed alien spacecraft propulsion systems operated by the US Navy and Air Force, which the United States of course denies, even though there are confirmed government-owned patents for triangular spacecraft that were filed in 2004 and abandoned after 2006, whose description just so happens to sound almost exactly like what we're looking at over here, the same craft that has been spotted numerous times around the world over the decades, only to get swept aside as a hoax or nothing to see here. But no, please Google this so you can read all about how it's 100% debunked, and don't you dare question it any further. Good boy. You can scroll to the next video now.
What a good boy. AI got so popular, people forgot what CGI is.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
5 celebrities
You know, it's so weird always seeing a Killer Pass video.
took the initiative to donate to Charlie Kirk's wife and children, with the last one vowing to take care of his wife for life. Number 4. Elon Musk. He and Charlie had frequent interactions on social media and held nearly identical views on issues such as illegal immigration and anti-wokeness. Upon learning of Charlie's tragic accident, he donated $50 million to Charlie's family to ensure their lifelong financial stability. Number 3. J.D. Vance. He was Charlie's close friend. After learning of Charlie's assassination, he used the Air Force Two aircraft to transport Charlie's coffin back to his family's home in Phoenix. He also personally carried the coffin at the Utah airport tarmac and promised to cover all expenses for Charlie's children until they reach adulthood. Number 2. Savannah Chrisley. As Charlie's lifelong friend, Savannah was on the verge of collapse upon hearing the news of his death. Previously, when Savannah's parents were imprisoned, Charlie had offered her support and even invited her to join Turning Point USA. In return, she stated that she would cover the college tuition fees for Charlie's children. Number 1. Ben Shapiro. As one of the most influential conservative figures besides Charlie, Ben Shapiro shared a bond with Charlie that went far beyond non-political partnership. They were also close friends in private. After Charlie's passing, he prioritized taking care of Charlie's family and pledged to uphold this commitment for the rest of his life.
Alright, good people stick together all the time.
This is why you should never ignore someone following you.
This guy's been following me since this morning, so I decided to escape.
He rushed out of the subway and hid behind a small tree.
I pulled out just before. No, he couldn't have followed me.
Suddenly, the man came out of the subway, looking left and right, searching for him. He pressed himself against the tree, trying not to move, trying not to breathe. Finally, the man walked away. He went home thinking it was over. But the next morning, he froze. Through the glass of his building's lift, he saw the same man standing inside, panicked. He ran to his flat and locked the door. Then, knock, knock. He looked through the peephole and froze. The man was there.
He stayed quiet at my door for at least 20 minutes.
I don't know if he's still here. I just called the cops.
And what happened next was beyond terrifying. If you want part 2, hit the plus button and comment yes.
I would just confront him. Like, what's wrong with you? What, man? What? What do you want?
I just saw this dude explaining the law of attraction in a way that I never had heard it explained before, so I'm just going to come on here and reiterate it. If you guys know his thing, tag him. But basically what he was saying is, to attract something into your life, you actually need to change your state of being, which is completely true. When you're living in a state of, I wish, I need, I want, you're basically telling the universe that you are not someone deserving of that thing. And when you start attracting, and you change it from I want to I have, your whole entire energy, your being changes when you change, it's a small shift. Think about it like this. When you're chasing a dog and you're trying to get your dog to come back to you and you're like, come here, and you're chasing him, he thinks it's a game, so he's gonna be running around. He literally thinks it's a game. Until you decide to flip the switch and you know what? You say, you know, I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna run the opposite direction. And then they start chasing you. What I think's funny is that how God kind of makes everything applicable to everything. Like there's metaphors, analogies, and lessons in everything if you just look for them. And you can think about this with humans as well. So if you don't have something, maybe you should take a step back and ask yourself, maybe I've been trying too hard. Maybe I just need to let go let God and become better myself and become someone worthy of having that, and it'll probably just work its way to you. That's the whole law of attraction thing right there.
Okay, this is the first in the Bible. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, it'll be yours. I think it's Mark 11, somewhere.
Trigger warning, if this image of a woman about to be hung by a tree starts playing, close your phone immediately, as not only are people's eyes burning, but what they will see will be etched into their nightmares. People were terrified after a video was made of a displaced farmer named Qisma Ali Omar having her last days, after Sudan officials at the RSF bounded her arms, hung her on a tree, and started mutilating her while laughing. And these cases are becoming more and more frequent. The skin-crawling video shows her being hurt multiple times by a steel rod while she starts screaming, to then the officials starting to essay her, and when the official shut the camera off, he proceeded to end her life, with the video even showing the man being very proud of himself over what he's done. And many are saying Qisma's piercing screams and the man's chilling laughs will now haunt them in their sleep forever. But it gets much worse, as this is not the only case of this, but the UN reports the RSF has committed to hurting, starving, denying medical care, essay, and ending lives completely of girls sometimes as young as 12.
Oh my goodness.
Violence against women is being used as a weapon of war in Sudan.
God, please protect the women.
Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but look what I found earlier on Amazon. These were posted on Amazon on September 9th. That was day before yesterday. How does one publish a book on September 9th for something that happened on September 10th? Then Amazon changed it to this. But wait, if you scroll down, it still says this. Oh, but wait. They're not going to let this stay up. No, if you go search the book now, this is what you find. Something else is happening here. I don't know what it is, but definitely something.
All government events are scripted as distraction. I just can't prove it.
Science shows that your brain and your best friend's brain sync together like Wi-Fi. It's called neurosynchrony, and it explains why you can finish each other's sentences and why you laugh at the same weird stuff. See, close friends actually develop similar brainwave patterns, and in brain scans, best friends showed synchronized activity in areas of emotion, decision-making, and even empathy. It shows why you and your best friend are such weirdos together. But it also proves that you should choose your circle wisely, because your brain is downloading who they are and who you will become.
So we really do share one brain cell.
The most dangerous food for the liver is not sugar, it's not processed meat, and it's not saturated fat. This food gets stuck in the liver. I'm Taylor, a doctor specializing in chronic disease management. Watch this video to the end, or you might not find it when you need it. It's highly processed, and it has residues of something called hexane, which is in gasoline. It's rancid, oxidized, and acts like something that can rust out your organs. The last thing you want to do is rust out your liver. It takes 1 to 2 years to leave the body. The more you cook with it, the more oxidized it becomes. The more it creates byproducts that are very toxic to your tissues. The most dangerous food for the liver is unsaturated fat, as in seed oils. They're industrial oils. Seed oils create inflammation, which turns into scar tissue or fibrosis. Seed oils get lodged into our tissues, not just in our liver, but all over our nervous system, even in our brains. Think about it. How can such a delicate, fragile, unsaturated fat, easily destroyed by oxygen, light, and heat, be considered safe for cooking? They take soybeans, corn, and other seeds, then add chemicals to extract the oil. After that, they add even more chemicals to remove what's left using high heat. Then they put it in bottles that are exposed to oxygen, not refrigerated. Stop consuming these seed oils. Replace corn oil, soy oil, cottonseed oil, and canola oil with olive oil, butter, tallow, and coconut oil. If you like this video, rate it between 1 to 10 in the comments.
Okay. Oh man, this is what we use here. Ugh.
Whether you choose violence or not, violence is coming to you. You either fight back or you die. You either fight back or you die. And that's the truth.
Today, Elon, I think the British public are telling the world that they're ready to fight back.
Good. Yes.
Come on, Great Britain.
You know, it's something when Elon Musk get involved.
Like anybody else. They killed a guy in a hotel room in Dubai, and then after they killed him, they were somehow able to lock the door from the inside of the hotel room.
There was like 26 people that the Dubai CCTV footage picked up.
Right.
Weren't the cameras Israeli made?
I got a tour of the whole facility, and the cameras were German.
What facility?
There's an underground...
Let's move into the Mossad a little bit. You've talked about in interviews that the Israelis are ranked critical threat for counterintelligence, a little bit about our relationship with them, but something that I'm really interested in is the Mossad operationally, because I think, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you'd be hard pressed to argue with the fact that they are really, really good.
Best in the world.
So, yeah, I guess broad question, like what has been your experience while at the agency, talking to other case officers, working with the Israelis? What stands out?
My experience is universally negative. Universally negative. I've never had a positive encounter with Mossad. I have never met a CIA officer who has had a positive encounter with Mossad.
Why?
Because the Mossad doesn't give two shits what you think or what you are trying to focus on in your job. They care only about Israel. And if that means shoving their fists up your ass or trying to recruit you or telling you to go fuck yourself while they try to recruit, the guy sitting next to you or the guy in the defense contractor's office, they don't care what you think of them. Because for them, it's an issue of survival. They have nowhere to go if they don't survive. The thing is, the Israelis, this was covered in the Washington Post just a couple days after the 12-day war started. And what the Israelis did is that they have a lot of Farsi-speaking Jews in Israel. These are Iranians who are Jewish and who emigrated to Israel. And a lot of them work for Mossad and Shin Bet. And what the Israelis did was they got the cell phone numbers of literally every Iranian nuclear scientist. And they had these these Iranian Jews call on their cell phones, call the scientists and say, listen, you're going to die tomorrow.
Ooh. It's not about their power. It's God's power who made them rich, strong, and successful.
When you smoke weed, it doesn't create new emotions inside you. Instead, it amplifies the ones already living in your brain. The mind that usually thinks deeply suddenly dives even deeper. The one carrying anxiety feels it magnified, almost exposed. And the person who's already joyful, they end up laughing without control. It's like your brain turns up the volume on whatever frequency you're already tuned into. That's why the experience never feels the same for everyone. It adapts to the state of mind you bring into it. Weed doesn't really change who you are. It's more like holding up a psychological mirror. Every hidden corner of your mind, every suppressed feeling suddenly comes into the light. It strips away the filters you usually hide behind, leaving nothing but the raw version of you. It reflects what's already hidden in your neural pathways, the thoughts, the moods, the truths you carry beneath the surface. That's why for some it feels liberating, and for others it feels overwhelming. Whether you're ready to face it or not, it uncovers you. If this made sense to you, follow and share it with 3 friends who'd relate.
Let me know how you feel about this in the comment.
Are we about to be told that we're going to be invaded by aliens? Because I sort of feel like that's where things are headed. So there was a UAP congressional hearing yesterday,
Really?
and they released new footage and new evidence. Now, this isn't the first hearing they've had. This has been going on for a while, but it hasn't been taken seriously. It hasn't caught on to mainstream narratives yet, but I think it's about to. And I think that they're gearing up for that with 3i Atlas. The whole 3i Atlas story was very fringe when it first came out, and now we're starting to hear it more in mainstream circles. It was discovered July 1st, but it didn't start picking up steam with the general public until well into August. And I feel like this narrative is just getting kind of pushed further and further, and they want to see how far it goes. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. It could be PBB, it could be true, it could be interdimensional beings, it could be a holy war, who knows what it is, right? But I feel like we're approaching the point where the country of the United States is going to be told that such things exist and they're coming, or they're already here. And inevitably, when enough people believe the message, it's going to cause panic. And with that panic can cause all sorts of responses. But naturally, people who are more inclined to be violent or start riots will probably lean into that. And so I think that the government knows this and they're anticipating that. And so they're setting up shop to prepare for that. And perhaps maybe that's even what these data centers are. Because, guys, these data centers are huge and they don't look they look like concentration camps. So if 3i Atlas is supposed to arrive sometime next month to Mars and then be closest to us, I think, in December, we're looking at a window sometime in 2025 where this narrative is going to continue to be pushed if this is what's happening. And this could very well be the nudge needed to push us into a UBI system or a cryptocurrency system or a one world order or any of those things. I mean, we're seeing unsettled societies across the globe. And I feel that that further illustrates the possibility that this is coming.
I don't think you can panic the millennials. We've been waiting, on the world to end since we were born.
Oh my god, guys, I'm telling you, there's something going on. Have you guys seen that footage of the lightning in Nebraska? I'm telling you, go search lightning storm Nebraska, and it looks so crazy. I've never seen lightning look like that. It looks like an alien invasion through like the clouds or something like that. Search Nebraska lightning storm. It looks so crazy. Peace out.
Anyone from Nebraska would like to confirm this? Please don't hesitate.
Wallace Line! The Wallace Line. So you have Indonesia, and you have Australia, right? You have Bali, you have the Philippines, and then there's Australia. There's an invisible line between these islands that for some reason animals cannot cross. Marine biologists have no idea. Biologists have no clue why. There's only like a 20-mile difference. On this side, on the Asia side, you have tigers, elephants, monkeys, all these types of things. But then 20 miles over, you have animals that
completely different species.
Are completely different species. You have marsupials like kangaroos and koalas, and then you have dingoes.
They've never observed those animals crossing over.
Even the fish will not cross over this invisible line within the ocean. Birds will not fly to the other side. It's just a border that animals instinctively just don't cross for some unknown reason.
I wonder if it's like a gravitational force or something.
But it'd have to be something we can't measure.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to figure that out. They'd find gravity or energy.
And why animals are the only things that don't cross.
Huge update for 3i, guys, and you're going to want to see this. Not only is it traveling at literally 1/50th the speed of light, nearly damn perfect, it's also, and 1/50th the speed of light is 0.02, or even further, 0.022 the speed of light. And that's what 3i Atlas is traveling, okay? It's also adjusting course every 22 seconds. This is 1/50th the speed of light, 0.02, or 1/50th the speed of light. It's traveling at an integer of the speed of light. This comet. It's also emitting green lights and other light sources and spectra, insane signature readings, and it's now approaching and slowing down around Mars. What? This is huge.
Oh, did you say it's adjusting and slowing down? What? No way.
What's your take on Lilith?
Well, yeah, Lilith. Well, there's no mention of her in the Bible per se, but there's a lot of mention of her in the rabbinic literature that sprung up after the Bible. Yeah. The story is that I think after Cain killed Abel, that Adam. No, was it that after that? I think it was after Adam and Eve were expelled from the garden. That they stopped having sex. So Adam, then was just sleeping, with Lilith, and they spawned innumerable demons as a result of their relationship. Yeah, and after a while, Adam and Eve, reconciled, and they got the things together again. Yeah, but Lilith, plays a role in the understanding of evil in the world, like it's the result of the spawn of Lilith.
What do you think Lilith was originally? If it was a thing?
Lilith is not in the Bible, so Lilith is, irrelevant.
There's 3 decisions you're making every moment you're alive. Your audience could test this out. The first one is, what are you going to focus on? Now, when I say make these decisions, Theo, I don't mean you're making them all consciously, right? So whatever you focus on, that's what you feel. If you're supposed to meet your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whoever at 7 o'clock, you get there at 7, they're not there. Some people are pissed off. Some people are worried. It's the same event. If it's 7:30 and they're not there, they've not called, they've not texted. Now what are you feeling? Some people, I'm really pissed off. I'm really worried.
I'm really single.
I'm really single. It's 8:30, I haven't showed up. I'm full. I didn't wait for the bastard. But the point is, whether you're angry or whether you're worried had nothing to do with the event. It's the habits of your mind. The person who's worried thinks, well, maybe they're in a car accident. The person's pissed off. They did it again. So the first decision you make is, what are you going to focus on? And most people have patterns of focus.
Yeah.
So there's 3 I'll give you, your audience can test out. Do you tend to focus more on what you have or what's missing?
What's missing?
Yeah. Do you tend to focus more on what you can control or what you can't control?
Probably what I can control, but it's out of desperation because I feel like I have to control everything.
Well, that's not a bad thing. You can't control everything, right? It's an illusion, but you can influence so much. You can control everything in you.
Okay.
And then the third one, do you tend to focus more on the past, the present, or the future?
Past.
Yeah. So those 3 patterns, if you do all 3 of them, if you constantly look at what's missing, it's hard to ever stay fulfilled or happy.
Yeah.
So you have to always do something to try to make yourself happy, because you're always noticing what's missing. That's just where your focus goes. There's always something missing. There's always something that's not missing. There's always something beautiful. You focus on what you have, you're going to be more fulfilled. Second one, if you focus on what you can control, what you do, it's why you have your own business. It's why who you are. A lot of people focus on what they can't control. It's overwhelming. You're stressed out. They think of all those things. So if you constantly focus on what's missing, you can't control, and the past, but you can't change, what that makes you is either angry or sad or frustrated or depressed.
Yeah, instead of just being like, I want to have this New Year's resolution, another rule for myself, I need to change the ruler.
That's
right.
You got it.
It's like that's what I need to change. But a lot of people, times we don't even see that we're the ruler.
Yeah. That's a great metaphor.
Yeah.
You know, like if you wanted to go do I don't know if you're into racing at all, but like a Le Mans, a 24-hour race, or a Baja 1000, you could have an amazing car, Ferrari, it's not going to last. You have to re-engineer that car to be able to take on the desert or drive for 24 hours or go to the ones that are in the desert there where they have a pipe so that when you go down, it still can get the air to the combustion of the engine.
Yeah.
We have to re-engineer ourselves so the time's right.
Spot on, man. Spot on.
Good morning, everyone. Just got to remind you, we're only 5 days away from the first wave.
What?
Yep, the countdown is still on.
What's the first wave? What am I missing?
We might just be witnessing the very world that we know, that we live in, change right in front of us. Mark Zuckerberg and his Meta crew are building Hyperion data centers. Get this, they will be the size of Manhattan.
What?
They've already spent billions of dollars on these digital data centers that are going to change the way you and I work and the way we get things done. In Louisiana, they're going to be building Hyperion, which is going to crack 5 gigawatt. It's set to be up and running by next year, 2026. To put it into perspective once again, that's Manhattan Island right there in New York City. These data centers will be just as big as Manhattan. One of the biggest questions that I've seen floating around is, where is the power going to come from to power these gigantic, enormous stations? Think about this. Mark Zuckerberg, in recent months, has been flying under the radar. Haven't seen him anywhere, haven't heard from him. That usually means they're cooking up something big. And this is that something big. So my question to you is, do you think this is going to be good for us? As you already know, and you can tell, they want AI and robots to run things to begin with. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Scary times are ahead for mankind. No way. Is that AI?
Breaking news, new information is showing us that Charlie Kirk began to notice in his final days, and even predicted that this would happen. 2 weeks ago, a close friend of Kirk said that he was afraid he would be killed if he turned on Israel. And within the past 2 weeks, Charlie Kirk has done just that, and we know what happened days ago. Recently, he declined a major donation from very large Israeli billionaire. He wanted to distance himself from Israel and talk more about American politics. And he recently had Ben Shapiro on the Charlie Kirk Show and said that there must be questions asked about Israel, and he does not believe the media is being honest when it comes to Israel. This video made Ben Shapiro noticeably uncomfortable. Also, probably the biggest sign is that 2 days ago, the new report shows that Netanyahu invited Charlie Kirk to Israel and Kirk declined. And if you know anything about Charlie Kirk, he makes it clear that he loves Israel and he sees the Bible come to life there. So why would he reject going there if he felt safe? Do you accept what the FBI is telling us, or do you think there's more that meets the eye?
The guy that got caught, George Zinn, check out the odds of this shit, bro. Okay? The guy that was immediately arrested after the shots were fired, and he was the first suspect that they picked up.
Conspiracy theorists out there, I don't want you going crazy, but what are the odds that George Zinn, the patsy that was arrested at the Charlie Kirk assassination, also saw 9/11, he saw the planes fly into the buildings and called that in or reported it, and then he also called in a fake terrorist attack at the Boston Marathon bombing, and just so happened to get arrested at Charlie Kirk's event. So Tess Keyser, she responded to this tweet and she says, Grok is a guy really involved in all three events like this post claims. And Grok fact checks it and goes, based on a review of multiple sources, George Zinn was a witness to the 9/11 attacks, and he described seeing planes hit the towers. He was also arrested in 2013 for emailing a bomb threat joke to the Salt Lake City Marathon shortly after the Boston bombing. He pled guilty to a terrorism charge and somehow magically only received probation. He was also detained and questioned as a person of interest at the Charlie Kirk assassination on September 10th, 2025, but released without charges relating to the shooting. Then Grok went on and made sure that it told you there is no credible evidence that supports claims of his involvement in 9/11's false flag, facilitating Kirk's death, or Mossad ties. The main suspect in Kirk's killing is now Tyler Robinson, and he is in custody. So I asked Grok to break this one down for us, and it says so, and it wouldn't give me an answer first. It said it's impossible to calculate. Well, I said use statistical probability and give me a ballpark stat on the probability of him being at all three major events. And it goes through here and it breaks it down. And we get down here to the very bottom where it combines the probability right here. Combined probability. And it says it is equal to 0.705% or 5 times 10 to the power of 8. That translates to approximately 1 in 2 billion. Does all of that seem normal to you?
Very strange. Very, very strange.
All you conspiracy theorists.
The chances are very odd.
You know, first time is a mistake, second time is coincidence, third time is a pattern.
Your brain is not built to keep you happy. It's built to keep you alive. Your brain evolved to scan for threats, not blessings. That's why you overthink. That's why a bad comment hits you harder than 10 compliments. That's why you can find yourself thinking positive one moment and then bam, negativity comes back again. Negativity, though, is natural. In fact, in psychology, it's called the negativity bias. And it helped our ancestors avoid being eaten or See, back then, danger was everywhere. So the human brain evolved to focus on the negative, to assume the worst, and to expect pain. Your brain thinks it's protecting you, but it's actually just trapping you. But today, the same wiring is why you're anxious or reactive or always waiting for the worst thing to happen. So what do? Well, if you want joy or growth or success, you have to override your own biology. You have to train your mind for it. You have to be proactive in searching for what is good in your life. Otherwise, you'll default to the negative. So when you hear about stuff like mindfulness and gratitude and being present, those aren't just all fluff. They're literally rebellion against hundreds of thousands of years of fear-based programming.
This is one of the best things I've heard in a while.
Reflecting on how this originated from a meteorite.
Was that Phantom?
Love.
Please tell me no one believed this. Please.
I told y'all it was demonic, but nobody wanted to listen to me. And in this video that I just found, that literally no one is talking about, it blatantly shows that Cardi B is not real, but she works for evil. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Cardi B's been known for glitching out, where she'll randomly freeze and kind of act like an NPC. But in this video, she slipped up because to an extent, she displayed who she's working for. Now, what do I mean? I'm saying that Hollywood's known for worshiping Satan, constantly making references and constantly having symbolic gestures, all of these different things. And whoever is controlling Cardi B, they shouldn't have let her slip up, because now the whole world knows what's going on. And if she has such a huge influence on society, doesn't that mean they're controlling you too?
I hate humans. Humans I hate.
90% of Hollywood is devil worshiper. Oh, by the way, follow my Instagram at Broski Ray.
Everybody, we've got some breaking news. So the man known as Victor, who allegedly leaked one of the most controversial and mysterious pieces of UFO related footage ever, known as the Alien Interview, has just been doxxed. So according to UFO researcher and filmmaker Jon Stewart, the Alien Interview video is authentic. And Victor, the man who leaked it from Area 51, his real name is Stanton John Willett. Check this out.
I consulted a military insider with access to the Groom Lake entry log, who confirmed to me that an individual named Stanton John Willett was present at the base at a time between 1977 to 1991. This revelation marks a turning point in the Alien Interview investigation, bringing us closer than ever to uncovering finally, after 30 years, the full truth about Victor's identity and the oranges of this footage. The pieces are finally coming together, and we remain committed to exposing the reality behind one of the most controversial and significant UFO-related leaks in American history.
So if this is actually a legitimate video of a real alien being, the implications are monumental. Let me know what you think.
AI is getting out of control. I miss the old TikTok, you know, when videos were genuine and real.
So lately, people have been saying that it feels like the world that we once knew just vanished. It's like we went to sleep and woke up one day and nothing was the same. Time, energy, hell, even this reality has completely changed in some way, shape, or form. It's like the planet had hit pause, and when it restarted, everything had been switched, and nobody can really put into words what's happened or what is currently happening. So I'm gonna let this guy over here explain what he feels like is going on. But let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Do y'all feel that this something has switched?
But I see where a lot of people have been talking about the same topic, about how their life, this is what they're saying in the comments section, that their life doesn't feel the same to them anymore. Kind of like they're half in this world and half out of this world. And I just want you guys to know, for the ones that feel that way, that you're not alone, because I feel that way every single day. Every single day, I no longer feel like the person I once was. And it's almost like I don't even recognize life anymore. I mean, here I've been on this planet for 54 years, but this world feels so foreign to me. And ever since COVID, it seemed like we went through some kind of like time shift, and it just seems like everything is happening so much faster now. I know that things go faster as you get older, I understand that, but I'm not talking about that kind of thing. It seems like everything is in like extreme fast forward. The days fly by. There just seems like there isn't enough time to even get 2 things done in a day. 2 things before it's time to go to bed. It's like, Jesus, I didn't even have time to do 2 things. I have been trying to convey in a video what I'm talking about, and I'm not able to do it, you guys. I'm just not able to put my finger on it. How in the hell did we go from what we remember the world being like to this? How did it come to this? What the hell happened to life? What the hell happened to this world? What the hell happened to people? Nobody wants to do anything anymore. Nobody wants to get together anymore. Nobody cares about anything. You can't even talk to people about anything today and have them even give a damn about anything. Nobody cares. This world is just like gray.
So anybody else resonates with what he's saying? Because it's like we're all waiting for something to pop through, and the anticipation is a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of heavy energy in the atmospheres, because it feels like we're waiting for something. And this, I believe, is this 3D to 5D ascension thing. Because in a new world, you can't take politics, you can't take government, you can't take jobs, you can't take none of this stuff with you. So their world has to be removed. It has to be dismantled. But I truly believe this is the reason why a lot of people are feeling this way. Yeah, but let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Like, follow, share for more videos like this. How y'all feeling? Let's continue to get...
Okay, I'm going to read the first from the Bible. It's from Matthew 24:22. If those days had not been cut short, no one would survive. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened.
So I've been coming across videos of people talking about how the guy who went to the store and decided to come home and face plant into a cake, how he inadvertently is shifting timelines. So I thought I'd break this down even further and tell you why this works and how to do it consciously. If you're here with me right now, you should know by now that your reality runs on subconscious loops. Same actions, same thoughts, same outcomes. When you do something out of the ordinary, your subconscious pauses, and that pause creates an opening, almost like a little glitch in the system. That's why people say unusual actions shift timelines. But here's the thing, if you just do something random with no intention, like face planting into a cake, you might shift, but it's unconscious, and you don't choose where you land. So here's the alchemist way to do it. Stand on a chair, switch the hand you eat with, or write your name backwards. The moment you feel this is out of the ordinary, that's when you declare, I shift to the timeline where blank, whatever you desire. Lock it in with a phrase like, and that's just what it is, something like that. That's how you turn random chaos into intentional alchemy.
Look at his hand.
We're gonna be here for a couple hours.
And look at this crowd of real people.
Get comfortable. Bring the best libs that Utah has to offer.
Look at how these people are acting.
What about it?
How old are those people? What are they jumping up and down for? This is... Do you guys know that The Masked Singer, the show The Masked Singer, they use an AI-generated audience? This isn't a novel thing like the robots in my comments. So the video that just got taken down would have you think, like, you can't make an audience just to try to, gaslight us.
Everyone needs to get ready. I just got out of a meeting with the team. There are so many updates going on today with the situation going on with the militaries around the world. Like I said earlier, I believe this is all connected, and the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about Russian drones were shot down over Poland today. They violated their airspace. NATO is involved. The US is involved. This is huge. And keep in mind, this is one day after Russian and Chinese nuclear submarines are spotted on the Pacific coast patrolling together. Everyone is asking, why is this all happening? Why is there so much military activity? My team and I have a theory that this is connected, especially with the fact that there's been so much UAP activity. In fact, they had a House of Representatives hearing today about the fact that Russia tried to shoot down a UFO or a UAP. They tried to shoot it down with a Hellfire missile, and there's footage you can look up right now of the missile bouncing right off the UFO. And when there is all this military activity going on across the world with multiple superpowers, you have to believe that they are uniting to fight something big. So get ready. This is just the beginning of what's about to happen over the next few weeks. September is going to be a big month, and remember that asteroid Atlas 31 is about to be going through our solar system, reaching closer at the end of September. We're going to keep you updated. We're feeling so much more information that's being sent in from around the world, from people that are active duty in the military, active in the government. This is huge. September is going to be big.
If millions just vanish, Jesus took us.
So Kim Panama just put out another video about 10 minutes ago, just basically showing the exponential growth of Gigantia, Grande, Venom, just from this morning, right? The comments section, of course, one of the comments said, just taking a risk with all of our lives. I get it, but I'm going to hold your hand, buddy. I'm going to hold your hand real quick, okay? Through the years, especially since Roswell, our governments, their governments across the entire fucking globe have gone out of their way, put billions and billions of dollars into place to hide the existence of these ETs and all these other things. Therefore, we have no education on what to do if we come across such a thing, right? You notice in the two articles that I've just put in from Roswell, first it was flying saucer, everything about a flying saucer capture, da-da-da-da. Then the next one is military debunks flying saucer claim. You see how quickly they went out of their way. Now we know what it was, right? It was a crash with entities, and ever since they've been trying to biologically reverse engineer the same craft, right? And they had bodies. We know that now, but do you see how quickly they tried to hide that and cover that up for all these years, call people crazy? What is the protocol? What are the precautions that have been put in place to let us know what to do if we encounter an ET? You guys tell me in the comments. Exactly. Nothing. So what are you supposed to do? Yeah, he's gotten to the point that it might be a little bit out of control. How does he dispose of it? Huh? Exactly. We have no clue. No, we have no clue. They've gone so far out of their way to not disclose. Now they're dropping little crumbs of disclosure, hitting things with fucking hellfire, but they're still not educating us, right? They're still not educating us. We're educating ourselves. Whether y'all want to believe this or not, Ken might be taking one for the team, and I hate to say it, or really hate to say it like that, because he's innocent. This is just something that kind of came across him while he was out. And it piques people's curiosity. You see how many millions and millions and millions of views and other people picking up on this shit? Because we're all curious, right? We've seen movies, we've seen documentaries about shit like this, but we have no formal education on what to do because our governments, all they want to do is hide it. That's all they want to do. So go ahead and blame him if you want. But also, while you're blaming him, explain to him what his next step should be. What would your next steps be? Throw it in a volcano.
Okie doke.
Know this? Contracts can be broken. Even the ones sealed with sigils, even the ones you signed without knowing the true cost. When you put your name on paper, they embed hidden symbols that harvest your energy. But here's the truth. You're a divine. Your soul cannot be owned, and what you did not consciously consent to cannot bind you once you awaken. Amen. How do you break it? With intention, with word, with embodiment. Speak it out loud. I revoke any contract made in ignorance. I reclaim my energy, my creativity, my soul. What was taken without consent is null and void. Then move in alignment. Stop feeding the system your worship, your fear, your silence. Every step you take in truth severs the cord. They use witchcraft to bind, but you are the original magic. The power is already in your DNA.
I revoke any contracts made in ignorance and proclaim freedom to live freely in the name of Jesus. Break it.
You want to see what a demon actually looks like? Well, I just saw a demon on camera.
What is it?
Look.
Did you see that? Oh man, Charlie Kirk. You know, to the Charlie Kirk family. Did you see all that blood that came out of his body? Boy, it was like,
my goodness. Really?
There you go. That's a demon in real life. Why, you ask? Because demons hate the truth.
Let's make him famous.
A young woman burst into the elevator, clearly panicked, begging for the doors to close fast. A strange man has been following her. The guy already inside reacts quickly, and the doors slide shut just in time, right before the creepy pursuer can get in. Catching her breath, the woman explains through tears and stammering that this man has been trailing her for several blocks. She's sobbing, trembling, barely able to speak. The guy tries to calm her down, telling her she's safe with him and that he'll walk her all the way to her apartment. But then she says something that changes everything. Through her tears, she admits she doesn't even live in this building. Her place is next door. She only ran in here to get away. The guy starts to realize something isn't right, but before he can process it, the elevator reaches their floor. As soon as they step out, they hear footsteps pounding up the stairwell. Fast, getting closer. They both understand at the same moment. The terrifying man is about to reach their floor. Their only option is to run for the guy's apartment. He fumbles with his keys, throws the door open, and they both rush inside. It feels like they've escaped, like it's finally over. But what happens next flips the entire story upside down. Want to know how it ends? Drop a comment below, because what came after defies all explanation.
Well, let me guess. The woman belongs to that guy, and they won't rob the guy who is helping. I'm really close.
This is unreal. Do you want to see how God speaks to us? Do you want to see how prophecy unfolds in real time? Watch this. At what time did Charlie Kirk get shot? He got shot at 12:23 p.m. If you go to John 12:23, what does that say? It says, "And Jesus answered them, saying, the hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified." It goes on to say, "Truly I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit." Now, what is actively going on right now? Charlie Kirk's death has brought hundreds, if not thousands of people to come to Christ. And most, if not all, Christians have a fire raging inside of them glorifying Jesus. And it's not only in America, it's across the globe. Check out Sydney, Australia. This is the UK, Madrid, Spain, the Polish Parliament, even Austria and Germany, New Zealand, and even in Tel Aviv are all honoring Charlie Kirk and glorifying Jesus. Murals are popping up everywhere. But that's not all. Check this out. Charlie died on September 10th, and John 9:10 says, "So they were saying to him, how then were your eyes open?" It goes on saying, "He answered, the man who is called Jesus made clay and anointed my eyes and said to me, go to Siloam and wash. So I went away and washed, and I received sight." I've seen, and I'm sure you have too, so many Democrats and lefties coming out, opening their eyes to seeing the evils of their party. Not only that, there are countless amounts of videos of people that have never opened up the Bible, opening it up for the first time, going to church for the first time. Their eyes were anointed and their vision is clear now. They're saying they're seeing Charlie Kirk supporters and Christians from across the globe. Instead of burning cities down, they're coming together to comfort each other, praying and honoring Charlie Kirk's life. People that are lukewarm, people that are atheists, people on the left, they're all seeing this and they've opened their eyes and they're saying to themselves, I want that. They're asking themselves, how can they react this way after losing someone so dear to them and coming to the realization that I want to know their God. God's timing is always perfect. Now listen to this. In Genesis 50:20, it says, but as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass as it is this day, to save much people alive. Evil actions of men never override God's plan. He can weave even betrayal, injustice, and tragedy into his greater purpose. What was designed to break you can be used by God to build you, strengthen you, and fulfill his will. The enemy may try to silence voices of truth, but God can use that attempt to ignite a greater movement and bring about more good than before. Praise God.
I pray we all know Christ like him.
What you're about to see proves that some imaginary friends aren't imaginary at all. And if this ever happens to your children, bless your home, your family, immediately. It isn't uncommon for children to have imaginary friends. I think most do. But when you can catch them on camera, they're not imaginary. The footage I'm getting ready to show you is from inside a house. I'm going to show you the footage, the original, then I'm going to show you a zoomed in version. Everything about this screams demonic. It's not a child, it's the size of a child, but this is something dark. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you've ever experienced, I want to hear about it. Check this out.
Ooh. Ooh. It looks like a copy of the child, like a mimic.
Firstly, I need to warn you that some of the details in this video are disturbing. I'm going to share with you some accounts of deathbed experiences of atheists and unbelievers. These are accounts which were communicated to me directly, including eyewitness accounts and including accounts of those who worked in hospice who get to witness the final moments of a person's life. And what happened in the final moments in these accounts is very sobering, even terrifying. What this reminds us of is that there are only two types of people. There are those people who are dead to their sins, and there are those people who are dead in their sins. And we certainly don't want to get to the place where we reach our final moments dead in our sins, as you're going to see in these accounts. So I'm going to read out these accounts, and the final one in particular is very interesting because it's different to the others. Account number 1. I was a hospice RN for years and I saw it all the time. People who were ready to meet their Lord and people who were not ready to meet him and had rejected him all their life. The death of a person that does not belong to God is a horrible sight. All the meds that hospice can offer to calm the person down did not work. If you do not believe in God, go work in hospice for a while. The next account. I also heard many stories from hospices that people saw dark entities and begged the nurses to save them from these dark ghosts who want to take the dying person with them. The next account. My uncle died within a week of breaking his arm and going into the hospital and finding out he had cancer. My mother said he screamed over and over right before he passed. I pray he asked for forgiveness. The next account. I've seen non-Christians die and it was horrifying. One woman said, "The devil is here. He's coming to get me." She was sitting up, terrified. Suddenly, she said, "He's got me," and fell back dead. The next account. I've seen a vile man die with the most terrified look on his face. Absolute horror. The doctor and PA were in there with me. Even after he was dead, his face was contorted with a silent scream. The PA said she started going back to church because of it. The next account. I have a friend who was a hospice nurse for a time, and she told me of a harrowing experience she had with one of her atheist patients. He was on the point of death when suddenly he became alert and frantically began clawing his way towards the head of his bed, trying to get away from something only he could see at the foot. He kept screaming, "Don't let them take me, don't let them take me," and then he died. She was so traumatized by what she had witnessed that she nearly packed in her job. The next account. One man who was sexually inappropriate took a couple of minutes of not breathing to die. He grabbed a hold of my shirt, trying to hold on to life. He had the most horrifyingly terrified look on his face. Please, people, call on the Lord while you may be saved. Now, before I get to the final deathbed experience, it's important to note that these accounts bring to light the fact that death is real, eternity is real, and what we believe about these things matters more than anything else. The Bible says in Hebrews 9:27 that it is appointed for man to die once and then comes the judgment. The Bible also says in Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Every single one of us is separated from God because of our sin, and we're all going to die. And death won't simply be physical death, but it would also mean eternal separation from God in hell for those who are dead in their sins. And the only one who can save us from this is Jesus Christ. He's the only one who can reconcile us to God and forgive our sins because of what he accomplished on that cross and his resurrection from the dead. So now let's have a look at the final deathbed experience. Even though my grandmother grew up and went to church, we had a strong feeling that she wasn't saved. But it was hard for me to speak to her as if she needed to get saved, so I asked for a sign. I asked God to even let her see flames. 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from my cousin who told me that my grandma, who was in the hospital at the time, started screaming in her room, begging people to put out the flames that she saw all around her. My best friend and I came in and ministered the gospel to her. At 95 years old, she received Christ. 2 months later, she passed away and went to be with the Lord. I wanted to put this one last because it highlights the hope that those who put their faith in Christ have. Eternity, the moment after death, will be completely different for those who put their faith in Jesus Christ. The Bible speaks about this hope. Jesus says in John 11:25, I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. So friends, what I would say is you don't know when you're going to draw your last breath, when your final moment's going to be. If you haven't already done so, make this decision today. Repent, change your mind about your sins, and put your trust in Jesus Christ and receive the free gift of salvation, which will completely change your eternal destiny. I pray that this video has blessed you. Would love to get your thoughts. Leave your comments below and I'll talk to you soon. God bless you, friends.
You know, I was with my dad when he passed. You know, and on the deathbed, my mother whispered to him, please go, we're going to be okay. And he just went like that, peacefully, you know. On his last day, the only word he spoke is, Yesus terima kasih, which is, thank you, Jesus, in English. Yep.
The term
testimony.
Africa is not the name of the original continent. It is not. The name of the original continent, the mother continent, is called Alkebulan, right? Capital Alkebelun, Alkebulan. It means, it's a Coptic word meaning the Garden of Eden. So Alkebulan was changed by a 5-star Roman general by the name of Leo Scipio Africanus, who during the Second Punic War in 202 BC defeated Hannibal and defeated Hannibal in Carthage, which is present-day Libya and Tanzania, and changed the name of the continent from Alkebulan, which is actually a Coptic term meaning the Garden of Eden, to Africanus, which is Africa today.
What if reality doesn't fully exist until you notice it? In quantum physics, this is called the observer effect. The double slit experiment shows that particles live in a haze of quantum possibilities until they're observed and measured with certain devices, and in that act of observation, they collapse into a definite outcome. Now here's where things get interesting. Your brain itself is a measuring device. Every photon of light your eyes receive, every sound wave your ears detect, every sensation on your skin. These are measurements of the universe. But unlike a camera or a machine, your brain doesn't just record data. It interprets it, gives it meaning, and transforms it into lived experience. That means the final collapse of uncertainty into reality happens inside of you, not outside. Reality, in other words, is shaped by the very act of being observed. This gives you enormous power, because the same brain that registers the present can also simulate the future through imagination. Neuroscience shows that when you vividly imagine something, your brain activates many of the same neural circuits as if you were actually experiencing it, which means imagination is not a passive dream. It's a rehearsal of possibilities, a way of holding potential realities in superposition until your focus, your actions, and your persistence collapse them into existence. The principle is simple but profound. What you consistently observe within yourself sets the stage for what you eventually experience outside yourself. If your mind is full of doubt, fear, or limitation, those are the versions of reality you collapse into. But if you train your focus on vision, opportunity, and growth, then over time, those are the probabilities that become your lived reality. So the question is, what possibilities are you holding in your imagination right now? And which ones are you ready to collapse into being? Because your attention isn't just noticing reality, it's shaping it.
I heard this is everyday life for someone with ADHD.